efficiency, innovation, and modernization. I'm Dan Carroll, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Neighbors for Dan Carroll.
If you own a business, any business where customers spend more than 5 minutes at a time, you need Wi-Fi. Personalized Wi-Fi that takes them to your network. Wi-Fi that connects them to your personalized landing page with your ad and your promotions. That lets them connect through social media. You need Saguaro Hotspot. Call 602-618-6626. Saguaro Hotspot, 602-618-6626. Make Wi-Fi pay. 602-618-6626.
This is Scottsdale City Councilman Guy Phillips reminding you to get out the vote this election season. And if you happen to be a Scottsdale resident, please remember to vote Guy Phillips, the only conservative voice on the Scottsdale City Council. Whether you're a resident or small business owner, I will continue to be your voice, standing up for you, your family, and your property rights. To learn more, go to electguy.homestead.com. And remember, this election season, I'm your guy. This message paid for by Committee to Elect Guy Phillips.
Este baile no hay salida, que corre el tiempo. Pégate y zumba conmigo como...
Live from Phoenix, this is the Entrepreneurs in Fuego, the #1 multimedia broadcast show for entrepreneurs in Arizona. And now, here's your host, Francisco Javier.
Good morning. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs in Fuego radio show. We're the #1 multimedia broadcast show for entrepreneurs in Arizona. With me in studio, I have a multi-talented and stunning guest host, Karla Schmick, Enterprising Woman of the Year, Entrepreneur Magazine's top 10 hot list. Explain that. What is that?
You know that. That's pretty good.
What is a top 10 hot list mean? I mean, I can see. I mean, the only bad thing about radio is that you can't see what's going on. And so, but I'm going to be able to go ahead and describe you.
No.
But if you are named Entrepreneur Magazine Top 10 Hot List, it's for a reason.
Oh, you're sweet. And it's early in the morning, too. But, so, no, I was very proud of that. That's Entrepreneur Magazine. You know, that's Entrepreneur Magazine.
Of course.
And then every year they pick the 10 top businesses. And mine was listed as one of the top businesses. So that was a big, thing for me to be in that magazine.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Exceptional marketer, real estate professional.
Golf pro. Don't mention the golf. Yeah. Don't
Model.
forget. Yeah.
What else do you do?
I know. I don't know. I just need a guy. That would be good.
All right. We're going to put this. This is going to be the, what do you call the matchmaker show.
Nah, it's okay. I'm all right.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you're better off by yourself.
Yeah. I can do more. You know, it takes a really strong man actually to put up with a woman that's very determined and independent. So you need a good guy by your side.
But you know that sometimes just a powerful woman by herself is much more conducive to success than carrying a guy that is not going to.
I've done that. Yes, I've learned.
You've learned that.
I've learned. Yeah.
You know I'm single.
No.
All right. We'll talk about it a little bit later
you're cute.
One beautiful and eclectic superwoman. That's for damn sure.
Thank you.
My name is Francisco Javier, your co-host, CEO and founder of the Office Pile, named in 2015 one of the top co-working communities in the world. And we're opening up our Phoenix location on December the 15th on 15th Avenue in Osborne.
Okay.
Great location, about 6,000 square foot location. It's about a half an acre. It's got 26 parking spots and then more street parking. I mean, it's just a phenomenal place. It's going to be great for event hosting. Hosting?
Hosting.
Jesus.
Event hosting.
Yeah, it is
I'll
early,
bring
isn't
some
it?
people.
And this is my second cup of coffee already. I
haven't had one.
You haven't?
No.
You may share some of my secrets with me and my cup of coffee. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Gene Kernan with Local Motive Marketing, turning free Wi-Fi into your #1 marketing tool. There he is. Sandrina Benz, the leader in luxury car private client service. Leona Bush with Clean Kiss for the kiss of health. She's got this whole thing about keeping your mouth clean, and she's got this mouthwash, and she's got this whole system. Yeah, it's just an incredible thing. And I met her the other day. She gave me a kiss, and I am now cured for it. Allison Hilton with Compliments at A Hilton Salon and Spa. I interviewed her yesterday. She is just a phenomenal woman. She's been in business for 40 years. Can you imagine?
Really?
She looks phenomenal. Christine Sabah, the most knowledgeable realtor in Arizona. She's written 3 books. She's an attorney, and she does real estate. She's an actress. She does all these things, man, and I don't know where she finds.
I think you need to get all these women together.
Yeah, that would be a great show. The only problem is that we only fit 4 microphones.
No, we just
here.
need an event.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Event, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said let's get them together here in the radio station.
No, we'll just have an event with them all together.
Interesting.
We'll invite you too.
That would be a nice thing. I would appreciate that. Are you going to be there?
Yes.
I'll be there. On deck for this Sunday. In studio a bit later, we're going to have Danielle Stevens, CEO and founder of The Darkly, which is an award-winning expert in visual communications and creative ideation. The Darkly provides real value to their clients by delivering top-notch, creative, and affordable cost. And Danielle is a terrific blogger. And one of the reasons that I invited her over here, she's actually, by the way, she's running late. But she wrote a blog that caught my eye. And I don't know, a lot of people write blogs, and I just don't know how many people actually read them.
Yeah.
Right? But she wrote one, and it caught my eye because it talks about why social media doesn't and will never produce an ROI, a return on investment. That's pretty
interesting, isn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in other words,
as it goes against everyone's beliefs.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you're on Facebook all the time. You're on Twitter. You're on Instagram, and you're tweeting. You're Facebooking. You're Instagramming. You're sending all these messages. And what she says is that if you're a small company, and if you're doing that, her whole contention is that social media will not work. It will not produce an ROI.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew mine without it back then. So, but I think it really has its place. Interesting.
That is an interesting thing. So we'll be discussing a little bit about this controversial and daring title, why social media doesn't and will never produce ROI for your business. I think that is very interesting. So we'll talk about that, and later on the show we'll also be discussing content marketing for entrepreneurs. Content marketing for entrepreneurs. What I think nowadays, if you don't have content in some form or another, then how do you promote your business? How do you get the word about your business? So it's all about content in my mind. The Man from Mars. We wrapped up season 1 for the Man from Mars. Brian Wood, who's a certified professional coach and NBA player rep, will come back and make his presence here in studio in a few weeks for season 2 of Lessons from Mars. It's always fun. We completed the repertoire of different contestants for the reality radio show with Jennifer Graffis. And so now it's all about keeping us, because I'm part of one of them, keeping us accountable, making sure that we do whatever we said we were going to do at the beginning of this reality show. So they'll be showing up once a month, either by phone or here in studio to kind of just follow up a little bit to see how you do it. But now in studio I have Karla Schmick, Enterprising Woman of the Year, Entrepreneur Magazine Top 10 Hot List, Exceptional Marketer, Real Estate Professional. You're the package, man.
Well, thank you for saying all that. But the Enterprising Woman of the Year was a little bit, I achieved that goal back in 2006, so I have a lot left to do. I have stores out there. My stores are all around. They're in California,
What kind
Idaho.
of stores?
They're kids salons and spas. They're called Monkey Do's. I was inspired by Oprah one day when I was at home living on a dairy in the middle of nowhere, and I was a little bit bored, and I was always watching Oprah, and she said, do your passion, and my passion happened to be, making sure that my kids, my little boy didn't like actually to get a haircut. And so I thought I'd open a salon special for kids. And there was also no spas. That was back when Britney Spears was trying to get into the spas. And so I created the first kids salon and spa in the whole country. The only problem was it was in Yakima, Washington. No one really got it. And then September 11th came, or,
Yep.
in 2001, and the banker came and said, this is an incredibly stupid idea, and no one's going to come. And the dairy farmer agreed, and I fought and fought like crazy to keep it going, and I did. I kept it going, and I kept building, and I went from state to state, and then I won Enterprising Woman of the Year. I was on The Big Idea with Donnie Douch and sat next to Donald Trump. I was on the Martha Stewart show, and it was fantastic. It was hard, though, to keep something going just with cash flow. I didn't know much about business in the beginning. I lost a lot of money because I didn't know about business and every time you lose, you learn. And so I learned mistakes, and I went on and I did better, and I created a franchise. So now the stores are operating still since 2001 in Riverside, California. And
they're called Monkey Do's.
Monkey Do's, yeah.
And they're spas and hair salons for kids.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it helps little girls with self-esteem. When I was golfing, I always, felt I had to dress really great to go out there and, hit the ball. And really, you shouldn't have to do that. You should just have enough self-esteem to get up to the tee box and hit it. But I always thought, when the little girls have the makeup and the sparkles, they feel better. When you feel better, you do better. And so that's what it's all about. Self-esteem, sparkles, and dreams. And
but that must have been such an incredible experience to go through all that process, to creating the spa, the idea, and to have people around you, some of the naysayers, right? Saying,
Most of them were. They
Really?
all laughed at me. The banker sat in his chair and turned it around and said, this will never make money. I've never heard of a glamour party making money. No kids will come here. Their parents won't take them here. Most everyone in my whole life surrounded me was saying no, except I had a couple of people. I had a decorator that really believed in me, and she would come and we'd work till endless hours. And it was down deep. I really, really believed it. And then the customers would come in and say, is this a franchise? And I didn't even know what a franchise was. So it took a while to figure it all out. And then I didn't want to stop. And then I won the award. That gave me more inspiration. Then I won the Office Depot Woman of the Year. I went to Florida. I created glamour camps. I put them in the Boca Raton Resort, in the Ritz-Carlton, and the Atlantis hotels. And then eventually they stole my idea because I wasn't smart enough to have it all trademarked and patented. But it was hard, really, really hard in the beginning.
What advice, Karla Schmick here in studio with us, she's our guest host, what kind of advice would you provide somebody that is starting with a dream, much like you did, right? I mean, everything starts with a dream, with a thought, with an idea. Okay, maybe I should do this. And then, of course, from the dream, from the idea to the execution, there's a huge chasm, there's a huge gap.
Yeah.
What would you recommend somebody that like you that started off with a dream?
I would recommend, first of all, don't listen to anyone that says you can't do it. It's the same thing that you hear all the time. Everyone says it. Don't listen to other people. Just go with what's inside. But you have to honestly have the passion. And I think being an entrepreneur is something that you're born with, that you're growing up and you're like that. You're either like it or you're not, because you really have to have a lot of endurance to keep going. And you have to be competitive, because when you're, and you have to be willing to face all the challenges. I mean, many days my staff didn't show up and I don't know how to cut hair. So I had people come in and, ask to, can they get their hair cut? And my girls weren't there. And then you have to stand there and be humbled and look ridiculous and, give them free haircuts for the next day and then deal with your girls. And you just have to really inspire yourself within. And you can't give up. You can never give up. I sold a store to one lady, and she would cry every night from the bathtub in her cell phone, laying in there. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? And how do I keep going? And she sold the store. And, there's people that can handle it and people that can't, but you just really, really have to.
It is difficult. It's not an easy road. It's not a fast road. And that's one of the reasons that when we started the Entrepreneurs in Fuego video magazine about 2 years ago, a project of the Top Foundation, we set out to demystify the notion that entrepreneurship is somehow easy, that it's fast, that
There's actually someone that thinks that.
Yeah. Well, look at social media, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on, demystifying that notion. That again, I mean, if you look at social media, and sometimes portrays entrepreneurship as everybody's smiling, waiting for their multi-million-dollar funding to come in.
I sold my jewelry to pay for payroll.
I had to sell my car to make payroll back in the day too. Yeah, I mean, so but it's not like that, right? I mean, it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of dedication, tears, overcoming. I mean, just all these things, and that is hard. So we set out to interview local entrepreneurs, 10 to 15 minutes. Through the show. This was, again, about 2 years ago. And we've interviewed over 450, actually nearly 460 local, from celebrities to professional athletes to folks with multi-million-dollar companies, to just a mom-and-pop person who's just barely starting. And indeed, the lessons that we're hearing, Carla, are exactly the same lessons that you and I are discussing right now, what you went through, what I have gone through, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not an easy road. Anybody out there thinking about going in business for himself or herself, get ready for a bumpy road. Unless you have a rich uncle or aunt that is going to write you $1 million check.
And you can make all the mistakes and only last about 5 years.
Precisely. But that's a hobby.
Right.
That's a hobby.
Yeah.
And you can have all the hobbies in the world. If somebody's going to pay for them, knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. That's due. Mm-hmm. But for other entrepreneurs, they need to find funding. They need to, figure out the marketing, figure out how to get this product, how to get the service out. There are steps. And to be sure, there are a lot of companies out there and books and self-help and things and seminars and whatnot, people teaching you, quote unquote, and I'm doing the air quotes right here, how to be successful, how to do it, etc. But
there's certain guidelines, right? I mean, you have to have guidelines for anything, but then you have to have something inside of you that makes you special, that makes you endure, and you have to be the best problem solver and the best multitasker, and you have to have a great imagination, and you have to be a visionary. You have to see. If you can't see what it's going to look like, then you'll never achieve it. This is like when you hit a golf ball. If you can't see the shot, then you're not going to make it, right? So the first thing when you sit up to address your ball and hit it, you have to visualize. Jack Nicklaus always said it, and that's where I learned that from, and that applies to everything in life.
Be the ball, Danny.
There you go.
Be the ball, Danny.
Remember?
Some people may not catch that, but I'm absolutely. Karla Schmick, man. Not only the Enterprising Woman of the Year Entrepreneur Magazine top 10 hot list, but also contemporaneous to me and picking up on all this pop culture reference. Man, that's good. That's a plus. You. That's a plus. You have other businesses too, though. Don't you?
I've done a lot of things since I came to America.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 25 years. I came here with a dream. So I'm one of those that wanted to do better.
Where did you come from?
I came from Canada. And January the 1st, I got in my car with my golf clubs and I drove all the way to Vegas. And then I came to Phoenix. I didn't know where I was staying. I was only 22 years old. And I just wanted to have I wanted the dream, that they always talked about it, but I still think it exists. And so I became the golf pro and met the dairy farmer and started my stores, and he didn't like that anymore, so he divorced me, and then I became a boxing promoter.
I was wondering where the dairy farmer thing was going.
The dairy farmer.
Okay, so dairy farmer was husband number one?
Yeah.
And that's it?
Yeah. No, there was a husband after that.
There's a husband number two?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the dairy farmer, husband number one, you marry him.
Yeah. And he was supportive in the beginning of my business and what I was doing, because he knew I was bored and didn't like cows anymore. So he supported that, and then the banker told him that if he didn't get rid of me or if I didn't stop, he would close the dairy down. So he was from Holland, and he valued his cows more than his relationship, and pretty soon I was just gone, and that was fast. And
That's awful.
I was living in a little shed, and I was building my second store, and my girls worked for me for free, and yeah, it was really, really bad.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you got rid of him.
I guess so, because I wouldn't like living on the dairy, I guess, anymore. I'm happy things have turned out the way they did. I wouldn't have never expected that I would be. But I mean, I had my stores locked with chains and bolts, and I had to drive past them for a month. I wore the same clothes for like 15 days in a row because I couldn't even think of what to put on. I just, I had to fight to get the stores opened. And so I overcame all that, and he has 6,000 cows, and he can look at those all day long. I'm very happy to be here. But
you picked 6,000 cows. For you.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Once when I was in Israel, I tried to sell my sister. I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to sell my sister for 5 camels. We were in Israel. But that's a different story. What did I know? And all right, but you also, and this is something that few people know about you, is that you're also a boxing. Is a boxing promoter? Is a boxing organizer? What is that?
Well, my brother started a boxing company called Fan Base Promotions a while back. Mm-hmm. So we did the first ESPN Friday Night Fights here in Phoenix, and that was pretty fantastic. And then
that was you then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you know that? It was with Jesus Gonzalez, and
great fighter.
Yeah,
sure.
Fabulous. El Martillo. He should still be fighting.
El Martillo, the hammer.
Yeah,
you bet.
Thank you. Yeah. So I was his. I took him around and helped him, and we did everything. And it's just hard coming down from a different country for him to set up everything. And we tried to be the best boxing promoters ever. And he went back to Calgary, and he works with Jenks Trotter up there in Calgary. But I still work with people down here, and actually something really big could be happening in the next week where we're working on some, I can't say, but when I find out, I'll let you know. It's going to be fantastic because Mayweather, Al Heyman, who's done his TV and all the boxing, they shut down. So there's no more fights from Mayweather right now. They lost $221 million in 6 months. So there's a void, and I have a partner that's getting some capital, and we're going to put that together, and so we'll have a brand new boxing company.
I know who Mayweather is, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So
sorry.
Right.
That's a little deep. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all right.
That's
but that's
You'll
okay.
see. You'll see.
There's going to be a surprise, and that surprise will be a surprise for those who are in the business.
Yes.
For me, it's not going to be a surprise because I have no idea what you're talking
sorry. Yeah. I'm actually impressed that I know something more than a guy does.
Well, I have no idea.
I get in trouble all the time. I need to know more.
I know who won the Pacquiao Vargas fight last night.
Yeah.
Pacquiao did. And we only knew about that because we just cheated this morning and we looked at the phone and Googled it, and I'm a Pacquiao fan myself. Yeah. And all right, so Karla Schmick here is here in studio, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about marketing. Because it sounds to me, marketing and content marketing, a little bit about how to get businesses, and tips for entrepreneurs, how to get businesses marketed and promoted, which is the hardest thing in the world. You can have a phenomenal idea, much like the idea that you have your franchise, Monkey Do's, much like the people that sponsor the show. But if you can't get that word out, if you can't promote that, then it really dies. I mean, it's nothing. Mm-hmm. It's nothing. You have to have some type of promotion. And what works? What works? I just don't know. Sometimes it's just difficult to experiment. So you gotta try some things here. You gotta send out an email with some information. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Danielle Stevens, who is CEO and founder of the Darkly, her contention is that social media doesn't and will never produce a return on investment for your business. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to her about that and to have her explain what that means. And We'll see. But for me, it's all about content marketing, to be honest with you. It's if you are consistent in your marketing, if you continue to send out different messages, try at different angles for your message.
Your audience. You need to know who your audience is.
You need to know who your audience is, exactly. And remember, even if you know who your audience is, your audience and tastes and likes and so on and so forth, those change as well. So you have to be able to be savvy in terms of how to react and how to adapt to your changing audience, the different tastes that your audience, your market has. And that is not an easy feat.
No.
It isn't.
No, it's not an easy feat.
You're stunning. You're a beautiful woman.
I'm not that beautiful at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm really not.
Some people can pull it off. Some people can't, but you can.
Thank you.
Because you know why? Because you are the Entrepreneur Magazine Top 10 Hot List.
That's it.
You're the Enterprising Woman of the Year, and you're all these things.
Yeah, thank you.
Very amazing. And you are the guest co-host today. I've learned a lot about you that I had no idea.
Oh, there's more.
There's more?
There's more.
Can we find out when we come back on the other side?
Sounds good.
When we come back on the other side, man, we're going to talk a little bit about marketing, content marketing. We're going to talk a little bit more about Karla Schmick, secrets from Entrepreneurs of Fuego. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is John Tesh. When I'm in
awesome.
Phoenix, I listen to the weather on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Catch my show Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Time to seal the deal. The presidential candidates, their family and friends blanketing the battleground stage today and tomorrow, making their closing arguments. Donald Trump spoke Saturday in Reno.
In 3 days, we are going to win the great state of Nevada, and we are going to win back the White House.
He was briefly rushed off stage by Secret Service agents when someone in the crowd shouted "gun." Soon returned to finish his speech. Hillary Clinton was at a Katy Perry concert Saturday night talking about her supporters.
I believe they are standing up for a hopeful, inclusive vision of America. And I'm asking you to stand up for that same vision when you come out and vote. On November the 8th, it's your turn, Philadelphia.
Clinton's running mate Tim Kaine on Saturday accused some FBI employees of, quote, actively working to support Donald Trump. I'm Christopher Cruz.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center for this morning, a clear sky, sunshine today, the high 84. Clear tonight, low 62. Monday, sunny, high 86. Tuesday, sunny, high 88. Sunny and breezy Wednesday, high 84. I'm meteorologist Jim Manali from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently, in downtown Phoenix, it's 64 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Who's to blame for this?
The voters for getting in line.
Helen Purcell blamed voters for her mismanagement of the presidential primary election. The Arizona Republic says Helen Purcell's mistakes disqualify her for another term. Helen Purcell's bad decisions span decades and contributed to 1 in 6 adults in Maricopa County becoming victims of identity theft. In 2010, Helen Purcell was sued for not securing ballots after they were cast. And again in 2016, a device containing voter data was left overnight at a Glendale school, unsecured. Foreign hackers are now targeting Arizona election systems. Can we trust Helen Purcell to secure anything? Adrian Fontes was a classified materials controller with secret clearance. The Marine Corps trusted him with our nation's secrets, and we can trust him too. It's time to protect our democracy. It's time to send in the Marine.
Hi, I'm Adrian Fontes, candidate for Maricopa County Recorder. You can learn more about my campaign at electfontes.com.
Paid for by the committee to elect Adrian Fontes.
If you're like me, I was always looking for that special tire and auto company I could trust. Then I found Advance Auto Service and Tire Centers, an honest, reliable, and local shop that's been a part of Arizona neighborhoods since 1989. Advance Auto is offering Goodyear factory rebates of up to $80 on 4 select tire sets. And if you purchase using Goodyear financing on approved credit, they'll double the factory rebates up to $160.
Advanced Auto Service and Tire Centers is your neighborhood source for everything automotive since 1989.
Looking for an honest, reliable, and local shop to service your car, truck, or SUV? Advanced Auto Service and Tire Centers has been a part of Arizona neighborhoods since 1989. Along with their low price guarantee on tires, Advanced Auto also has great deals on automotive service. Check out their latest specials and factory rebates online at advancedauto.com.
Family owned and operated since 1989. Advanced Auto Service and Tire Centers is your neighborhood source for everything automotive. Check them out online at advancedauto.com.
If you own a business, any business where customers spend more than 5 minutes at a time, you need Wi-Fi. Personalized Wi-Fi that takes them to your network. Wi-Fi that connects them to your personalized landing page with your ad and your promotions that lets them connect through social media. You need Saguaro Hotspot. Call 602-618-6626. Saguaro Hotspot, 602-618-6626. Make Wi-Fi pay. 602-618-6626.
Este baile no hay salida, que corre el tiempo. Pégate y zumba conmigo con movimiento. Este baile no hay salida, que corre el tiempo. Pégate y zumba conmigo con movimiento.
Welcome back. In studio, we have our stunning guest co-host, Karla Schmick. You know how I put that adjective in front of your name? Because you are. Because you are the Enterprising Woman of the Year, Entrepreneur Magazine's top 10 hot list, exceptional marketer, real estate professional, motto, everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm humble. See?
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I think that's what makes it all better, right?
Before we went on break, you had something that you wanted to share with us. And this is the opportunity. Tell us. You're doing a project.
Oh, so I work with a...
What, you forgot?
Yeah.
You forgot already?
Well, there's lots of projects. It's still early in the morning.
We're holding our breath, right? We're holding our breath. Like, okay.
Oh, okay.
I got so many secrets that I wanted to share, and I just forgot which one.
I have lots of secrets, so that's the problem. So, but working with a group. They're based in Vegas and Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
So it's a Las Vegas luxury group. And I do events in Vegas and get hotel rooms. So anyone that I know, it's actually I help them get really great deals like $19 hotels, and we set up events there.
Oh, really?
It's fantastic, yeah.
So if I wanted to go to Vegas, you could get me a room for $19.
Yes. Yeah, I just stayed in the 51st floor of the Planet Hollywood for $19.
What's the catch? Do you have to join something?
No, you don't have to join. You just have to call me.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's supply and demand. So I work with a couple fellows that really have great connections there.
Are those
and they work
Are those
endlessly.
fellows named Guido and Tony?
No, it's Roderick. His name is Roderick.
Oh, okay.
And I met him through boxing, and he's really been a fantastic friend and helped me.
I'm going to pay $19, but on the exit fee, which I forgot to be explained on, that, they're twisting my arm. It's going to be another $150.
No, it's fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
This portion of the show is being paid in part by Infusionsoft, sales and marketing automation software built exclusively for small business success. Brian Cowarding, CEO of Elite Restaurants, connecting foodies with the best local establishments in Arizona. Cherry Dairy Berry, CEO and founder of Compass Cleaning Solutions, Arizona's go-to organic commercial cleaning service. Mallory Dyer, CEO of GraphLock, turning your smartphone, tablet, and laptop into a fully functioning scientific and graphic calculator. We're getting all these new sponsors, man. I think the next thing I know, I'm just going to spend like a half an hour just talking about the sponsors.
I think you deserve it. I really think you deserve it. What you're doing is fantastic.
Well, let me tell you something. I think that the sponsors deserve that. Wes Harrington, CEO, I love Wes, by the way, CEO and founder of Bed Doctors and New Sleep. When you go to his place, he's got like a dream room.
Oh.
And you go in there, and people actually, he tells, okay, you go in there and you sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then come back out. That's what he does.
Really?
Yeah, he's really cool. 4 hours? Up to 4 hours, I think. Well, up to 4 hours.
Where is that?
He's got a place over on Tatum, and there's another one on Phoenix. There's 2 Bed Doctors to serve your needs so that you can sleep well and live well. Joining us in studio today is also somebody that I've been looking forward to speaking with all morning, all week. Danielle Stevens, CEO and founder of the Darkly one of Arizona's premier branding and marketing agencies, and the author of an incredible blog which caught my eye, which leads us or has led us to today. And the blog is called Why Social Media Doesn't and Will Never Produce a Return on Investment for Your Business. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Francisco. Thank you for having me.
Do people read blogs anymore?
No.
It's terrible. That's what we were talking about on the top of the show, because this is one blog that if you're an entrepreneur, it's a must read. It's a must read, and it caught my eye.
Yeah, people, unless it's a blog, there are obviously outliers. Some blogs have caught, traction over the years, especially when the boom hit. And those blogs still exist today, but mine certainly isn't one of them. But, yeah, I appreciate that a lot. And this certain blog post is really important for any small business owner or even medium-sized.
Okay, so what's the theory behind this? Why social media doesn't and will never produce ROI for your business? And that's exactly what your title says. So I'm not embellishing it, or I'm not detracting from it. That is exactly what your blog says. Why social media doesn't and will never produce ROI for your business?
So, Francisco, the key here is that it won't produce ROI. There are things social media does and things social media doesn't do for your small to medium-sized business. But essentially, there are three main reasons why it doesn't produce ROI. Those reasons are, for one, you have to understand social media, why it's there, and why people act the way they act on social media. You have to understand consumer psychology and consumer behavior. The first reason why you won't be able to actually produce ROI for your business on social media is because we're in an era of information overload. We basically cannot possibly take in everything that businesses are throwing at us.
So explain this. So if I am a business and I am Facebooking or Instagramming or sending tweets, the chances of my target audience actually stopping and reading, looking, enjoying what I send out has very little chance, actually.
You're looking at probably a 0.5 to 1% chance of people looking at and actually digesting your information.
I'm thinking that, oh my goodness, I sent out this video, and great, I've got 100 likes. Woohoo!
Exactly.
Means nothing.
It doesn't. That's not the way consumer behavior works, and that's just simply not how consumers use social media. They actually use social media for personal reasons. It's very, very unlikely that they're on there searching for products and services and spending time on Facebook searching and digesting the information that businesses put out there.
In studio, Danielle Stevens, CEO and founder of The Darkly, an award-winning expert in visual communication and creative ideation. That is a word that it's very hard for me to say.
It's a good word.
It is a good word, isn't it? Ideation.
Ideation.
What does that mean?
Actually, I believe when you put it into Word, the spell check actually it makes it. I don't know that it's a real word. We use concepting too, and that's not a word either.
So what does that mean?
Ideation is concepting. Ideation is basically the act of coming up with ideas, and when you have a consumer psychology in mind when you're creating visual communications, that's what's going to create effective visual communications, understanding how consumers operate, how they make decisions, and that's why a true branding agency will understand consumer behavior before anything else.
Danielle Stevens wrote a blog called Why Social Media Doesn't and Will Never Produce ROI for Your Business, and you give us the number one reason why it won't, and that is information overload. What's the second reason?
Second reason is going to be just consumer behavior. I actually went over the second reason while I was talking to you. It's people go to Google for products and services. And so Google's where the main source is where they can look at reviews, find the location, look at the hours, what comes up at the top of the page. Google has dominated the market on finding products and services and businesses.
Is YouTube kind of competing with that space? Because no.
YouTube is for people ingesting interesting information, just like Facebook. So if you put out something extremely interesting and engaging, let's say it really is to millions of people, the fact is that rarely translates to purchasing or becoming a consumer of your business. So even if you get the traction and you get the 1,000 views, there's a very small chance those people are actually going to take the next action in purchasing or becoming a consumer of your business.
And that is a very good point, because you're saying, all right, so my video got 1,000 views. It could mean absolutely nothing other than just the awareness that I was there.
Right. And
that I had a footprint.
Yeah, and that's what's important to remember is on every social media platform now, they've monetized exposure. And what that means is you've got to put a lot of money to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and all the rest if you want to even gain exposure. Once you've gained that exposure, making the giant leap from people digesting your information to actually purchasing your products and services is, again, 0.5 to 1%.
That is pretty incredible. And again, the views or the that we would see somebody say, all right, I got my video out there and I have 1,000 views. It really means very little, because how do you measure that view? It doesn't mean that people stayed in a 2-minute video. They didn't stay the 2 minutes. They probably stayed maybe 6 seconds, or there was a time, right? Between 6 and 15 seconds.
Right. You bring up
like
a
that.
very good point, Francisco. The way that Facebook measures impressions, quote, impressions,
right,
or YouTube or any platform measures how many people have viewed something, it means it was on their screen for ever, while they were looking at something else, or, it was off to the side. And so they'll tell you, oh, you got 1,000 impressions on this. And really that just means someone scrolled by it.
Very interesting. Daniel Stevenson is in studio, CEO and founder of The Darkly. And with us, of course, we have the stunning co-host, Karla Schmick, Enterprising Woman of the Year, and all sorts of things. So that's number 2. And lastly, why social media doesn't and will never produce ROI for your business. What is the third reason?
Well, we sort of just went over it. You're sort of under this contract or social entrapment with any social media platform. They have you. They know consumers go to their platforms often, so they have very high numbers in the millions or billions of people who are on their platform, and so they sell you on that point. But what they neglect to tell you is you're not going to get any exposure unless you pay a lot of money for it. And even when you do get exposure, it doesn't necessarily mean the consumer is going to make the leap. The only time that this is what I'm talking about is not true is when what I would say the exception to the rule is if you're a massive, massive brand that people know, that consumers know, Black & Decker, any sort of huge brand, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Those types of brands on social media do get a lot of traction. They can create campaigns, calls to action, contests, and they'll get that interaction that they're looking for. But any medium to small business will not ever reach that unless they become a groundbreaking, massively known brand.
I think that's totally true. But I think a small business, once they have the customer base, and then they can send out, like if I've never purchased anything from Facebook. Facebook is all social. But if you go to the local smoothie place on the corner and I get a text that they're having a special, I'll go for that. I'll do that. Nordstrom, if Nordstrom has a sale, it's all over. Everyone knows. They go. It spreads. The word spreads. Or just looking at it, just the knowledge of knowing it. And then I think that spreads and they tell their friends and they go. So sometimes for small businesses, it's a little bit different. Yeah, but once you have that customer base, though, you can directly send, like I used to send some special emails in the beginning to my customers, and they would come in, but normally, yeah, you don't gain nothing off of Facebook at all.
So,
Yeah.
so in this, I don't want to say fatalistic view of social media, but rather a very pragmatic look at social media and what the returns may or may not be. In this case, it means very little, if any. If you are a small business, Danielle, what would your suggestion be for somebody that has a brand, maybe a 2-3-year-old company that is starting, if you will, and wants to promote their product or service? And it wants to be on social media, basically, whatever that means. Sure. Because we understand, are you on social media? What does that mean? Are you on Instagram? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you sending emails? Are you sending text messages? What does it mean? What is the solution there?
Social is strictly going to be social media platforms. Emails definitely do not apply, or do text messages that can. And there are new technologies coming out where if you're in the vicinity of a business, you automatically get a text or a special that says, "Hey, you're right here. Come on in." But we're talking about just strictly social media platforms and why they don't bring ROI. My suggestion for small businesses is that they absolutely have to be on social media. They at least have to be on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Twitter, YouTube, now we're getting more and more outside of the necessity zone. But Facebook for sure, and I'll tell you why. The more... It's sort of a necessary evil. If we look at millennials, first of all, which are coming up, those are ages 35 and under currently, you're looking at people who are abandoning Facebook in droves.
They're abandoning Facebook in droves. The millennials are abandoning.
Yes.
By the way, where are they going?
They're going off of social media. They don't feel that... They feel that social media is a necessary evil. So they will have a Facebook page. They will not interact with it very often. They certainly won't look at any businesses or interact with them. Again, unless it's some mammoth brand that has thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. At that point, that brand has created advocates, and those people will share what the brand posts, talk to their friends about it, etc. But for a small to medium-sized business, that's not what's going to happen. However, just like millennials believe that Facebook's a necessary evil, so should small businesses and medium-sized businesses. My suggestion to them is to probably post at least once or twice a week on their own. Don't pay for it. And I know a lot of social media firms are going to be quite upset about that. It's a huge market for people who want to sell social media management to small businesses or medium-sized businesses. And they promise ROI, and that's where you get into trouble. And that's where they can't produce what they promise. They're never going to be able to produce the ROI they promise to the businesses, and that's just a fact. Now, what they should be doing if they are offering social media management, and what small business and medium-sized businesses should be doing, is posting about once or twice a week, maybe even once every day if they have the time. The point is, it's a necessary evil. So you're looking at the 1% of people who do go to look at Facebook to make sure you're there. You better be there. Even if that 1 out of 1,000 people looks, it's not good to not have a Facebook presence. They actually look at it as though, is something wrong? Are they hiding something? Why aren't they on social? Why aren't they engaging with people? They're not up to date. They're old school. There's a lot of subconscious judgments we'll make about a business that doesn't have a social media profile.
Or a website, for that matter.
Exactly like a website.
Okay.
Exactly like a website. If you don't have a website, it's the same sort of judgment pattern that you'll get with social media. So as of now, at least Facebook and maybe Twitter, maybe Instagram, I'm telling you, as a branding agency and a fairly successful one, we have just Facebook. We rarely tweet. We rarely go on Facebook. All of our business comes from referrals and networking, just like any business, a small to medium-sized business. You've got to pound the pavement. You're not going to get business from social media, and to pay for it is something that you need to be aware of what you're paying for. And so this is where we get into, well, what does social media do?
Sure.
Right? Well, it does three things. One, we've already talked about. It has to be there so that if someone looks at it, they know you're actively operating as a business, you're up to date with your technology, and you have a presence on social media should people want to interact with you. You don't want to have a social media page that hasn't been updated in 6 months. Again, people may look at that as, even subconsciously, they may look at that as, hey, something's wrong here. They're not doing well, or, why haven't they updated their page in 6 months? The two major reasons why social media is important, at least for now, as we progress in the next 5 years, I think this will shift drastically away from social media altogether, and who knows what will replace it. I wish I knew. I'd be the next Zuckerberg.
Sure.
But basically what it does do is it creates brand awareness. You might get impressions that are, here and there, but people repetitively seeing your brand now and then is very good. It creates memorability. So the first thing social media does for you is it creates brand awareness on a very small scale when you're a small or medium business, but it is important.
But you have to be consistent.
You have to be consistent. That's absolutely right. And then the second thing it does for you is it creates the image of you being an authority in the topic in which you operate. So when you are posting, you want to be posting about relevant topics to what you offer as a business, and that in and of itself establishes you as an authority figure in your industry to consumers. So that's a very important platform, just like blogs, which people don't read anymore, to do that. But yeah, people are just getting information overload, and that is the number one reason why social and blogs are just starting to fade away. There's got to be something that comes up and replaces that allows us to digest information, a massive amount of information in an effective way.
Interesting. So fair to say that to some extent, then social media has jumped the shark.
It definitely has jumped the shark.
Right?
It's a necessary evil, but don't look to it. You got to, if you know what to expect out of your social media, you'll be happy.
Let me ask you this. You're a millennial.
Yep.
Where do you hang out?
Where do I hang out? Offline.
Offline where?
Just hanging out with friends, watching movies, going to places, I would say Netflix is probably the number one platform in which millennials are spending most of their time. I did do a little bit of research before I came in here, and although millennials are for sure abandoning Facebook in droves, they are actively interested in something new to come along besides Facebook, but they don't know what that is.
So for us that we are not non-millennials, let's say, we're still under that spell that, we have to post and post and post, sometimes without really a rhyme or reason, only that we know that we have to be on Facebook or we have to be on social media, without really a master plan. But I think what I hear you saying is that if you're going to have a master plan, if you will, in social media, and you're going to target other than the 35-year-old, the 18 to 35, that you're going to have to spend some money in social media in order to actually effectivize your campaign.
Yeah, you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get the exposure and impressions. And again, that does not make the...
It doesn't guarantee the ROI.
It does not bridge the gap, even with a call to action. People just are not on social media to purchase products and services. It's a fact.
Interesting. Carla?
Oh, I was just going to say that my daughter, she's 21, and it seems like all the younger people are all going, if they do anything, it's Instagram, right?
Right. Instagram's huge, but again, we'll probably see like a bell curve. Instagram will die off like Facebook in the next 5 to 6 years.
Much like Vine.
It was all a great idea. It was all fantastic, and it's overload, and I think it's caused problems in society that
absolutely
have, people can't handle it.
People can't handle it. That's
there's just way too much going on. We go 150 miles an hour a day, and it just doesn't end.
Interesting. We have to come back and talk about a little bit more content marketing and why that is important, which to me, I think it is. I mean, if you have content, video nowadays, of course, if it is not on video, it doesn't exist as far as I am concerned. But we're running out of time, and this is what happens. We're having so much fun. Danielle Stevens, CEO and founder of the darkly, and, of course, the stunning co-host.
And intelligent.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And
Very insightful. I'm going to leave today with some incredible wise words from Charlie Day from Is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He said something like this. You cannot let a fear of failure or a fear of comparison or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism, and you cannot love without the risk of loss. You must go out and take these risks.
That's good. That's good.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great say. Here we are, the Entrepreneurs en Fuego show. Tune in every Sunday. Or maybe nobody's listening, right? According to Danielle Stevens, nobody's listening to us.
No, I know one guy that's listening for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that is a very good thing. Until next week, this has been the Entrepreneurs en Fuego show. Until next week, we're out.
If you own a business, any business where customers spend more than 5 minutes at a time, you need Wi-Fi. Personalized Wi-Fi that takes them to your network. Wi-Fi that connects them to your personalized landing page with your ad and your promotions that lets them connect through social media. You need Saguaro Hotspot. Call 602-618-6626. Saguaro Hotspot, 602-618-6626. Make Wi-Fi pay. 602-618-6626.
I'm Francis Battaglia, president of Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and we're expanding our lineup of local talk shows. We're looking for individuals, business owners, and professionals to host their own radio talk show. This would be a new weekly show that either you pay for or help get sponsors to fund your show. You would pick the topic, select guests, and take calls from the listening audience. There is no experience necessary, and we provide training. Call me at 602-277-1100, extension 1463, 602-277-1100, extension 1463.
You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100